Now the question is limit extending to pi by 4 2 root 2 minus of cos x plus sin x whole cube divided by 1 minus sin 2x is equal to how much? Now these are the four options. So in the solution what we do is limit extending to pi by 4 2 root 2 minus cos x plus sin x whole cube divided by 1 minus sin 2x. We can write this as limit extending to pi by 4 2 root 2 minus, here what we do is multiply and divide by root 2. Multiply and divide by root 2. 1 by root 2 cos x plus 1 by root 2 sin x. Its whole cube divided by sin 2x, we can write it as cos of pi by 2 minus. This is limit extending to pi by 4 2 root 2. Root 2 outside cube becomes 2 root 2. 1 by root 2 cos x plus 1 by root 2 sin x, we can write it as cos of a minus b formula. Cos of pi by 4 minus x. So cube is there divided by 1 minus cos of pi by 2 minus. So we can take 2 root 2 outside common. This is 1 minus cos cube pi by 4 minus x divided by 1 minus cos theta is 2 sin square theta by 2. So if we apply that formula, it is 2 sin square pi by 4 minus x, 2 sin square theta by 2. So 1, 2 gets cancelled. Now if we put pi by 4 minus x equal to t, then as x tends to pi by 4, it implies t tends to 0. So therefore, this will be limit t tending to 0 root 2 into 1 minus cos cube t divided by sin square t. 1 minus cos cube t by sin square t. So therefore, either you can use L'Hospital's rule to simplify this, or you can expand 1 minus cos cube t. So you can use L'Hospital's rule here, because as t tends to 0, cos cube t becomes 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0, denominator sin square 0. So it is very clearly in 0 by 0 form. It is very clearly 0 by 0 form. So therefore this is limit t tending to 0. We can differentiate 1 minus cos cube t. Derivative of 1 is 0, constant. Derivative of minus cos cube t becomes minus 3 cos square t into minus sin t. So it becomes 3 cos square t into sin t. So minus and minus becomes plus. And derivative of 2 sin square t is 2 sin t cos t. So 1 sin t gets cancelled. So therefore, root 2 and this is 2. So as t tends to 0, cos square t becomes 1. Cos t also becomes 1. So 1 cos also gets cancelled. So therefore, this is 3 root 2 by 2 is left over, which is equal to 3 by root 2. So required answer is 3 by root 2. Either you can write AQ minus BQ formula, or you can directly apply L'Hospital's rule. So ultimately option is third option. Thank you.